Hey guys, Mark the Mentor here, back with another video. Okay, so in this video, I want to give you 5 ways for guaranteed success in box trucking. My 5 ways for guaranteed success in box trucking. All right, and now these tips or steps or what have you, this is after all the tedious stuff is done. This is after you figure out how you want to structure your business, either LLC, incorporation, after your DOT, MC, BOC3, after you figure out how you want to do your insurance, who you want to go with, after you figure out if you're going to rent, lease, or buy a truck, after you deal with all that tedious stuff and you're ready to rock and roll, this is what you should be focused on. These 5 key things that will guarantee you success. And no matter what's going on, if you apply these 5 things, you will see success. All right, let's get straight into it. The first thing is going to be work hard, play hard. The harder you work, the harder you're going to play. Everybody wants to be successful. Lately, a lot of people have been putting things out, the past couple of years about, truckers making a lot of money in trucking, things of that nature. And that is true. A lot of money can be made in trucking, but it doesn't come without hard work. It doesn't come without hard work. And that's just the honest to God truth. I'm not going to try to, it is what it is. If you're in the truck, you want to really check a big bag of money, you got to put in some work. Even if you're looking to scale your business and remove yourself from the truck, it's going to come with a lot of mental work. All right. It's going to come with a lot of mental work. All right. The only way that you're going to be able to fully remove yourself from the work after you've done so much work, after so many years and years and years of work, and you want to remove yourself and kind of automate your business, is after you've scaled up so many trucks, you can hire management and you're just generating enough money where you can just put people in place to run your business for you. But it's going to take years of hard work and building and know-how to eventually get to that point. So that's the first thing you should understand, is that, work hard, play hard. You really need to work so that you can maximize your profit. All right, so the second thing that I want you to focus on that'll guarantee you success in your box truck business is build strong relationships. All right, this is something I talk about, building strong relationships. A problem that I see a lot of people do is they jump from place to place. Middle mile, final mile. I see it a lot in final mile. They get with one logistics company, they don't like it. They jump to another one, they don't like it. They jump to another one, they don't like it. And the reason why that happens is because you don't do the research and you lack the understanding. All right. So what I mean by lack the understanding is whenever you go to a new logistics company, you're starting at the bottom. All right. You're starting at the bottom. There's guys and there's crews that are there with their trucks that have tenure there. All right. And what I mean by tenure, they've been there a while. So as people fall off, as contractors fall off for whatever reason, better routes open up. And the guys that have the seniority, they say, you know what, let me get that route. In order to get to the better routes, you got to build a strong relationship and you got to put time in. You can't go into a facility, into a logistics company and think you're going to have it your way straight off back. It doesn't work like that. All right. You got to build strong relationships with the company. You have to show them that you're willing and dedicated and able to move their freight efficiently, as safely as possible. All right. And as opportunities open up, they're going to keep you in mind, because the longer you're there, they're going to know you. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to come in the door with the best routes. Now, another reason people jump around is for money. Now, that comes with research. There's plenty of companies out there. They all play different. You got some companies that are paying $650, for 10 10 to 15 stops final mile. You got others that, with that same range, you can be making in upwards of 800 to 1,000. That all depends on the company that you're running for. All right. But, you know this if you did the proper research. You just don't jump on the first thing smoking because you're excited and you're geeked that you got your truck, you got everything in play, and you're ready to rock and roll. You're active. You're ready to rock and roll. All right. So you have to do some research so that you don't get in a jam where you're running for a company and it's paying, let's say, $700 for X amount of stops. And then you find out that, another logistics company that has the same account is paying for the same amount of stops, is paying about $150 more. You would know that if you did your research. So now you're trying to exit this company, right, to go over to this company. And guess what? When you get to that company, you're going to be making more, but you're going to be starting from the bottom. So because you're starting from the bottom, it may be costing you more because they may be sending you far out to the route that nobody don't want. So make sure that you do your proper research, and then make sure that when you get somewhere, you kind of stick it out and just kind of feel it out and build that relationship, because it may be better for you in the long run to stick it out, build that strong relationship, than jumping around from place to place. All right, so the next thing that I want to talk about is the economy. And anyone that subscribes to this channel knows I love talking about the economy and how it correlates with the logistics industry. All right, so I think this is probably one of the most important things as far as if you want to succeed, knowing the economy and knowing some macroeconomics, especially if you're in one of these consumer-based lanes, like running relay, or like a final mile lane where you're doing, like, let's say like DSP, or let's say like certain lanes where you're delivering consumer goods and final mile. All right. The more customers buy, it drives volume up, which means there's more work. If there's an economic downturn, like we're currently in, volume goes down. All right. You need to understand and know how to forecast these things. For instance, the box truck industry got real popular during the pandemic, last year. And I talk about this all the time. A lot of people entered the game and they just weren't educated. They had money. They jumped in. They didn't educate themselves on the game, nor did they have any knowledge on macroeconomics or the economy. They didn't understand that, I'm buying a truck for $90,000, $85,000 that really should be $30,000, $35,000. All right. They didn't understand that the rates were higher than they normally are. All right. And when they jumped in, they were making money because everything was high. Even though they bought in at a high cost of entry, rates and everything were high. The industry has taken a downturn due to the economy, which it was going to take anyway. Why? We call it a correction. It had to correct itself. All right. But guess what? When you buy into something like a contract, like a finance, like you're financing a truck, you're still stuck with that high truck note. You bought a truck for 2 to 3 times what it was really worth. All right. But you're still stuck with that. So now everything has come down. You got people that are stuck with these high rentals, these high truck notes. And a lot of people have failed due to that because they didn't understand, they didn't know, they didn't do the research. And the people that are still hanging in there that bought in with those high cost of entries are struggling, the ones that are still hanging in there. But that's what I'm talking about, the economy, being able to forecast and say, hey, this is that thing. I think that we're in a bubble, this inflation. I was just researching these trucks last year, when I was looking at, when I didn't have the money, these trucks were like 30, 35,000, things of that nature. It'll help you in the long run. Just like right now, currently, volume is down. We're going into peak season. Volume is still currently down. We're at the end of October. All right. There's the sign. There's a few phases to peak season. All right. And, people focus on that last phase, which is that Black Friday to, Christmas Eve, phase. But there's 2 other phases prior to that that lead into that phase where you can kind of, scope out that phase. And the 2 phases that are prior to that phase, it's not looking good. So it's not looking good. And in a situation like that, let's say I was interested in, let's say, maybe buying a truck. Would it be wise for me to buy a truck right now, or should I hold off? Just things like that, knowing the economy, because a person right now who doesn't know the economy, who doesn't know a little bit about macro, might try to scale and go buy another truck, and this may not be the right time. You know what I'm saying? Just things of that nature. Understanding the economy, knowing macroeconomics, being able to forecast into the future. A lot of people have started and ended their trucking career within the last year by just not understanding the economy, and not understanding that the economy, the way the economy shifts, directly correlates with the logistics industry. So this is probably the most important thing that you need to understand if you want to succeed in this business. Okay, so moving along, the next thing, and another very important thing in order to be successful in the box trucking industry, is be realistic and budget. All right, be realistic and budget. One of the main things I see a lot of people fail in this industry, and this is just in any business. I see people, they get into a business, they start making a little money, and then they start living above their means. Just because you have your own business doesn't mean you're ready to live the luxurious life yet. All right, budget, because guess what? There's going to be a rainy day coming. There's going to be some type of cloud. Not every day, not every season in business is going to be a good season. There's going to be bad seasons. All right, just like what we say in trucking. It's not a fact of if your truck is going to break down, it's when it's going to break down. Just the same thing as far as, your good days and your bad days. You're going to have runs where you're making money. It's like nothing. It's like you can't do no wrong. And then you're going to have one of those seasons where it's like, man, you're getting hit with stuff left and right. It's just like, man, when is enough going to be enough? So you got to budget for those downturns. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to get caught with your pants down. All right, because it's coming. So don't take all your money, and this is in any business. This can be applied to business universally. Don't take all your money and just live the luxurious life prematurely. It takes time to get to that point. All right, you'll know when you're at that point. You know what I'm saying? Budget for those rainy days. All right, don't live beyond your means. Your truck is a tool. Drive that thing like your life depends on it. Okay, so last but not least, don't make it hard. Don't make it hard. The reason why many people fail also is because they take something so simple like trucking and they make it hard. It's simple. Box trucking is simple. It's simple. It's even simpler in some lanes. Middle mile, simple. Especially if you don't got to touch nothing. You just driving, backing into a dock. They load the truck. They seal the truck. You drive it. You backing into a dock. They break the seal. They unload the truck. Final mile, little bit of thought, but it's not like brain surgery. It's not like rocket science. You're carrying a refrigerator into a home. You might have to take one out. You're carrying a stove into a home. You're carrying a couch into a home. You might have to do some maneuvering, playing a little Tetris here and there, but it's not like rocket science. It's not like brain surgery. People make it hard by doing the opposite of the first four things that I talked about. You know what I'm saying? This is an easy game to be successful in if you do the first four things that I talked about. Do not make trucking rocket science. It's easy. It's very, very, very easy. Remember, success is not a right. Success is not a right. All right. Having a smart business plan and executing that business plan gets you the reward of success. Success is not a right. Having a business plan, a smart business plan and executing that gives you the reward for success. www.boxtruckcourses.com for your one-on-one mentorship with me, Martin Mentor. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with all the upcoming videos. I'm out.